Hi, I'm Crystal. I have been wanting to do a video like this for a while now, so I figured today was a good day to do it. I wanted to talk about some things that remind me of my childhood. I don't know, I guess I've just been feeling really nostalgic lately. I've been watching a lot of things that remind me of my childhood. I grew up in the 90s, so there's just a lot of things out there that remind me of growing up and a lot of things I enjoyed. I enjoyed movies a lot as a kid, as I do now as an adult. So I made a top 10 list of nostalgic movies that remind me of my childhood. And I thought I would list those off and talk about a few of them. And yeah, let's see how this goes. This top 10 list of nostalgic movies that remind me of my childhood, I might have left something off that reminds you of yours, or there's tons of others. I mean, so many movies come out within years and years of each other. There's tons of things I've left off my list because they weren't necessarily in my childhood per se, but were part of growing up, probably in the 90s as well. Start with number 10, and I have the film Hocus Pocus, which is a film that came out, I believe, around like mid-90s maybe. I love that movie. I watch it every Halloween. I feel like it's always on TV. It's always on TV nowadays, though I feel like during like weird times of the year. Last time I think I caught it on TV, it was like the middle of July. Granted, it's summer and there's usually nothing on at night anyway, but still, that's not a movie you air during summer, but I won't usually watch it whenever it's on TV, no matter what. I sort of cheated on number 9. I listed technically 2 movies, but they're TV movies, so I don't really know if that counts. But they are Halloween Town 1 and 2. If you don't know what Halloween Town is, then, well, that's a little weird to me. But Halloween Town is a Disney Channel original movie that came out, I believe, around maybe 97, 98. And it stars Kimberly J. Brown and Debbie Reynolds. And it's about this family, and the kids find out that, they're witches and everything. I don't want to give away too much if you actually haven't seen it. Go out there and find it. I believe it's on DVD. You can watch it on Amazon probably. It's just one of my favorite things growing up with every Halloween. I still try and watch it to this day every year around Halloween. At least the first 2. There are technically, I believe, 4 films in the Halloween Town series, but I don't like the other 2. I only counted the first 2, so technically I have Halloween Town 1 and 2 for number 9. Number 8 is the film Aladdin, starring the late Robin Williams. And I love that movie. It's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, and it's one of my favorites. To watch that, it reminds me of so many times in my childhood. I would just pop that movie on constantly. I feel like that and Beauty and the Beast are rotating like crazy around my house, at least. This film I have at number 7. I mean, I could go on and on about Aladdin and how much I love that movie. There are technically 3 Aladdin films, in case you didn't know that. I just found that out a few years ago when I caught the 3rd one on TV. I believe it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I just caught it one Saturday morning on Disney Channel, I believe, or ABC Family, one of the 2. But yes, there are technically 3 Aladdin films, but the first one is just hands down my favorite. I do like the second one too, but the first one is it's so much fun, and the music is great, and I can't get enough of that movie. I could probably watch it constantly, at least once a month. I probably am going to have to start watching it again constantly. It's coming out on Blu-ray very soon, so I'm excited for that. Now, on to the next one. Number 7 on my list is something that I've been I can't believe I watched it that constantly to where it's that much in my brain. And I understand it's not a very good film, but you know what? It was a part of my childhood, and I used to watch it all the time, and with my brother as well. We would sit there and just watch this movie like crazy, and it is Turbo, a Power Ranger movie, which is it's one of those movies, I can't really explain why I love it, but I don't know, I grew up on Power Rangers. It's one of those things, it's one of those cheesy movies that you're just like, I can't believe I will still watch it. I'll sit there and watch it probably again very soon. Within the next month, I'll probably wind up watching that movie again. I haven't seen it in a very long time, only because we used to watch it around here all the time. But yeah, Turbo, a Power Ranger movie, is on my list, and it's at number 7. Um, I mean, I love the franchise still of Power Rangers. That's when I started kind of falling off of the Power Ranger bandwagon whenever that movie hit. But my brother was very young when that came out, so he wound up getting the film, I believe, for his birthday or Christmas on VHS, if you remember what that is. And I believe we still have the tape somewhere around here, but I mean, just the fact that movie is just so, it got burned in my brain for a while, which is why I probably haven't seen it in a very long time. But I just, part of my childhood, and it was fun to watch. I mean, granted, the Zords are meh, but it's fun. It reminds me of growing up and being like, I was probably around 10 or 11, maybe, the first few times that I watched it, and then we just kept repeating it over and over again. But yeah, Turbo's definitely one of those movies. It's cheesy, it's fun, it's crazy, it's Power Rangers, At number 6, I have another Robin Williams classic, the film Gemology. Now, as a kid, I watched this movie a lot, and then I got a little older, and the film did honestly kind of freak me out at points. A little scary when you're a little bit younger, but the movie was always on TV, I feel like, constantly. It's on Netflix. I rewatched it within the past few months. It's still good. It holds up to this day. I don't understand. I believe it's getting remade at some point in the next few years. I believe I read that online somewhere. I think that's a little silly. It's a very good movie. And just, it's one of those that I really do love and enjoy watching. I usually watch it around Christmas time, which is kind of funny. I don't really know why. It's one of those things, but it's a really good movie, and I highly recommend that one if you have not seen it. Number 5, I have, it's one of my favorite things to come out of Nickelodeon, and it's Hey Arnold the movie. I loved the TV show Hey Arnold on Nickelodeon when it aired in the 90s. I believe it ended around 2003, maybe? I feel like once SpongeBob and everything hit its stride, everything else that I sort of grew up with kind of just not really vanished, but sort of just took a backseat. But Hey Arnold the movie is just so much fun. I rewatched it as well, I believe, on Netflix within the past 4 months. I rewatched it at some point this summer, and it's still really good. It's so much fun. It's all our favorite characters, and they put them on the big screen. I remember seeing it in theaters. That's how much I really do enjoy that movie. I've only seen it a few times since I was a kid, and I'm in my 20s now, so it's so much fun, and it's really great, and it's one of my favorite things to watch, and reminds me of being a kid. Number 4 on my list is the Disney classic Beauty and the Beast. Now, that is actually my favorite animated film of all time. I just remember as a kid, I loved this movie. I still love this movie, and I can't recommend it enough. The music in Beauty and the Beast is fantastic. It's one of my favorite soundtracks to just listen to on rotation on my iPod. I love this movie so much, and it was one of my favorite things growing up. I have it at number 4, just because I feel like that's kind of cheating, because I always put it at number 1. I love Beauty and the Beast. I'm actually kind of excited for this live-action retelling they're doing that's coming out, I believe, in 2017, since they did a live-action Cinderella this year, and that was amazing, and I loved that. So I'm actually looking forward to a live-action rendition of Beauty and the Beast. I loved the animated film, and all the characters in it were great. Bella's my favorite princess, like, ever. She's definitely in my top 3. And I love this movie, and I mean, I don't know what else to say other than I love this film. So I'm kind of cheating on number 3 as well. I sort of did that already, but I put at number 3 is the Harry Potter film series. Now, Harry Potter, I grew up reading the books, but I sort of cheated when I started. I saw the first film in theaters, and I fell in love with that world, and I immediately went to go find the first book, and I couldn't find it anywhere for the longest time. So by the time I found it and I devoured the first like 3 books as fast as I could. I remember one Thanksgiving that I wouldn't do anything else. Like, I barely ate, and it's Thanksgiving. All anyone does is eat and watch football. I think I was like just so into the story, I didn't want to do anything else. All I did was read the third Harry Potter book, and I love those movies. They're my childhood, and if you haven't seen them, definitely at least watch the first one, because that's what sucked me in, and I wasn't really aware of the books until I believe I just saw the first movie. We caught it in theaters, and I remember a certain scene where I was just like, this is so amazing. Like, in my head, that's all I was saying in my head over and over is, this is so cool, this is so much fun, I want to go to Hogwarts, oh my god, yay! And I completely geeked out over the films, each one, and I can't believe that it ended 5 years ago, or at least around 5 years ago. The franchise, it's just so crazy to not have them in theaters anymore, but I believe we're getting a spin-off film at some point. I believe next year, so that could be really fun, never know. The film I have at number 2 is one that anyone who knew me as a kid definitely knew I got sucked into this movie and I loved it. I remember being 10 years old and I could quote this movie, and that film is The Parent Trap, starring Lindsay Lohan. And I just remember that movie so well. For the longest time I had to avoid it because I knew it so well. Like, I remember it would pop on TV and I could like literally quote the film. Every other line I would just like say it out loud. My mother would get so annoyed at me. She's like, Crystal, shut up. Okay, we're trying to hear the movie. I was just like, oh my god, this movie's so fun. And I laughed out loud at all the jokes, and I still love that movie. And I can't get enough of it most of the time. It's funny, I didn't see the movie for a while, and I checked it out again within the past couple of years, and it still holds up. It's a lot of fun, and it's really great to watch, and yeah, that's one of those I just constantly had, you know, in my head basically playing. Now, I am getting to number 1 on my list, and for anyone that knows me and knows how much I loved everything from my childhood, from just everything from the 90s, as I say. But no one should be surprised that this is number 1 on my list. And the film I have at number 1 is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. I recently rewatched it this week, like within the past 3 to 4 days, and it's just so much fun. Like I say, I'm a nerd in the sense of I love Power Rangers. I love pretty much everything Power Rangers. I haven't seen a lot of the new stuff in the past few years, but I'll still check them out at some point. I'll give them a shot. We'll see how that goes. Power Rangers, well, the first film, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it's just, it was in my childhood, and I could not get enough of that movie for the longest time. I didn't get to see it because I could never find the DVD anywhere, but it is on Amazon. That's how I bought it. So if you want to rewatch the movie, or maybe you didn't get to see it when you were a kid and you've fallen in love with the franchise, or something like that, but I definitely recommend that, and that is probably my favorite thing from the 90s is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers television show and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. It is number 1 on my list. I'll probably do a separate video on Power Rangers at some point. I've been rewatching the show, so yeah, I don't know. I might do just like a separate movie review of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. And it's a little weird that it's getting remade, but I mean, they're not technically remaking that movie, but they are doing a new Power Ranger film, which is going to be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. In case you didn't know that. I believe it's supposed to come out in 2017. But yeah, I will hopefully do another video on that at some point. That is my list of top 10 nostalgic films from my childhood, if I can say that out loud. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and you can leave comments below and we can keep this talk going of nostalgic properties or just nostalgic things from the 90s or your childhood or anything else you want to talk to me about. You can find me all over social media. I will leave links below to all of my accounts, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye!